Today we are discussing what's new with Cosential. This is part 3 of the series. The first part we talked about general new features. The second part we talked about Cosential for Outlook, CFO, and now we're going to talk mobile. If you missed those first two, we do have those available on our website. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Courtney Kearney, founder and owner of C. Kearney Consulting, and I have been using Cosential as a user for over 14 years now, and I'm super excited to share that a little bit share that knowledge with you a little bit today. On our website, if you go out to ckearneyconsulting.com and click events, there you can see our upcoming events as well as our past events. So if you would like to chat, where are you? There we go. If you would like to go out and look at the previous recordings for CFO and the general information, feel free to go out to our website. The URL is in the chat window. Today we're going to talk about what's new with what Cosential calls on the go, so using your mobile to access Cosential. There is a new app, so we're going to review that. And then things have been happening on Android. We can now access Cosential app on Android, and some of the updates, specifically project filters in general. Really the overview of what is new. If you have your phone and you open it and look at the Cosential app, this is the icon that you want to be looking for. There is a previous Cosential version that looks a little bit different. It has the gray swoosh and then what looks like a bar graph. That is the first iteration. Then the second option was the card reader, and it has what looks like a business card and then orange crop marks around it. That is outdated. They have combined the two and made a lot of updates and created what you see on my screen here, the all white with just the word Cosential in the middle. That is the app that we're going to be reviewing. So if you don't have that, please feel free to download it or download it after this. Like I had mentioned, there are a ton of Android updates, including having access to it now on Android. But just know that things that we covered today, the iOS is ahead of development for Android. So if you are on Android and you don't see a feature that I'm talking about, it is coming for Android. Another new feature is that you can view project images now on the app. The auto launch feature. So what we're going to look at is when you're on a contact in the Cosential app, if you make the phone call from the app and click on that contact's number, the minute you finish the call, when you end the call, a call log will pop up so that you can be prompted to complete that call log right after you finish the call. While the information is fresh, while you're on the go, you can fill in and log that call. You do now have enhanced filter options, so far more options that you have available to you on the ability to look and see what is available. Looking at your saved filters. We're going to look at some of these today, but if you're on the opportunities panel in the mobile app, if you want to save them by just looking at opened for the last created in the last 30 days, or if you want to look at everything that's pending, you can save those filters now so that you don't have to keep refiltering them every time. The map feature, if you have not played with this, it's very powerful and quite cool. And so we're going to walk through that piece and what that looks like. For the agenda piece, now, you do have to give the app permission and in the settings, connect it to your calendar to get the full use out of the agenda piece. But if you don't want to give up that privacy, or if your IT department doesn't feel comfortable with that, the agenda is still useful if you're tracking your call logs and deadlines and tasks within Cosential. Now we're going to get into the live demo piece. So I'm going to stop my presentation and hope that my phone will agree with me this time. You can practice many times, but it always is worrisome if when you go live, is it going to work? I was thinking about it. Fingers crossed that this will load. Let's see if it popped up in the background. It says I'm connected on my end. My apologies about this. Like I said, it was working earlier. Let's see if a setting got triggered. That is correct. All right, let's try one more time. Fingers crossed. If not, we will be doing this from screenshots. Come on. Oh, this might be one that we don't do live and I record it and send it to you all. This is super frustrating. You know what? Let's try to change this one setting and we will try one more time. It says it's connected. I don't see you. There's no cell phone on my computer. Well, that is fun. It looks like it is working, but it is not displaying my phone. You know what? Let's shut. I don't know why PowerPoint would be interfering, but let's close that and see. Ah, hallelujah. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know if PowerPoint was the issue. Maybe. All right, well, thank you so much for sticking in there. For all of you that did, I greatly apologize that that was such an issue. What we're going to be looking at is the application on the far right of my screen. So like I said, the first iteration is there that you see in the middle. Don't use that one. And the far left, don't use that one either. What we want is the one on the far right. So once you click that, it's going to prompt you to log in. Some people ask if you have to have a login. And yes, you do have to have a login and a license. Oh no, you still see PowerPoint. Okay, let me stop sharing and reshare. Technology is not my friend today, is it? So if I look at okay, let's see if that is going to work. Do you all see my screen, my Cosential app now? I'm going to go ahead and log in. Well, yes. Okay, fantastic. We're going to look at logging in. So right when you log in, the card reader app, the card reader program or feature that you can scan your cards is what loads. So if you were using the previous card reader application, this is that feature baked into the new app, so you don't have to use that previous version. The idea of this is that if you connect it to your camera, you have to give it permission. You can either allow it to select previous taken photos, or you can allow access to all of your photos and therefore your live camera. So as I move around, you'll see that it wants to find you want to scan a card. So as you use this, you will look and my kids have, this is just an awesome start to 2021. My kids have moved my business card that I had sitting on my desk. So you're going to scan that and it's going to start processing. So what you're going to want to know about the process is that don't wait. It's going to process things and then it's going to be reviewed by a human. So the idea is that you can scan or take pictures of multiple cards at once. Go ahead and make your selection. So if you have things like company types or contact types, any of your categories, you can make those selections on the screen and then you click submit. Then it's going to process. So this can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 20 hours. It just depends on the work, the load that the reviewers have. When you come back, it is not going to hit Cosential until you reopen the app. So just set a reminder on your phone, or if you're doing this on a regular basis, those cards and those new contacts created will not hit until you open the application back up. When you do, it's going to say, these are the ones that were added, or there was an error, there seems to be a duplicate. Is this the same person? Create a new person. You have to interact with some of those and make those choices. Once you have the cards scanned, they're going to live here in the cards section so that you can see them. When you're in Cosential and you're on the contact record, the images that you scanned for the card will live on that record so that you can see them. So in the event that when we all go back to in-person events and you make notes on the back of the card, this person likes motorcycles, this person went to this college, or we talked about this, or this is the lead that came up. When you write those and you take the picture, you don't lose those notes. If you don't want to take the time to type them in as you're creating that contact, you can see the image when you're on the desktop or logged into the internet version. So here on the left, I have expanded the menu. So on the left-hand side, as we go down, you'll see the agenda. The camera allows you to take the pictures of the business cards. Cards is what the ones that you've already scanned, or if those are in process, you'll see those. Contacts, companies, leads, opportunity, and personnel and projects. Those are all the models in Cosential, so those should be very familiar to you. We're going to start at the top and look at the agenda. So this is going to, again, connect to your calendar if you allow that, and you can set those in the preferences. This is displaying a call log that has been logged, or you can go to a future date and you can look at one that is not started, that is open. So when I when I open my app on Monday, January 18th, I know what's coming for the week, and I see that I need to call Mike back. Down at the bottom left, you can see that you have a filter icon, so that little cone or funnel. Looking at that, you have it by default just to your activities. It has the completed. You can turn that off so that you are excluding your completed. You can filter by date created, the start date of a call or the end date of a call. You can also look at associations. So if you only want to look at the activities that you have for a specific client, then you can do that. A specific person. So if I'm going to call Mike back and I want to look at all the activity associated with Mike before I call him, I can do that by filtering by the contact. If I know I'm going to call Mike about a specific pursuit, I can funnel it or filter it by that pursuit. And then I know the activity surrounding that. Same thing with project. Now here is where you'll see a new feature, that save filter set. So if I know that I'm going to be chasing this opportunity for the next 18 months, I can go ahead and save that filter so I don't have to come and filter it by that pursuit every single time. You can just save it there. Once you've saved it, when you click the saved filter, then you'll see all the options. We'll see that on the opportunity piece when we get there. Next, we're going to look at contacts. So here's where a feature that is being baked into the desktop or web app. It started with the app, now it's moving into the full version of Cosential, but it is the wand feature in the upper right-hand corner. See if we have, here we go. So in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the little wand icon. This is what Cosential calls enhancement. When you create a contact in Cosential for Outlook, it now auto enhances it for you. It goes out and it looks for everything that's public associated with that name. If they have a picture, if they have a profile picture on their Twitter, it'll pull it in. If that person has set the privacy settings that it is not private and it can be shared, then that information will come through. So if a title is available, a bio off LinkedIn sometimes comes in. So to click that, you just click the wand. You'll see in the very bottom that it tries to enrich it. And apparently it does not like that. For me, here, if you click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, you can edit contacts, you can make notes, and you can create your call logs straight from here. By default, the one field that they give us to edit is email. Don't worry, you can create more or edit more than that. You just have to click the more fields option directly below it. I'm going to change my company to see if maybe that will help. What you'll see is that company does not exist in my account right now. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a plus sign. So you can go ahead and create that company right here from that screen. So I just want to do this quickly and get past all of those. If you do have something required, like a website or a state or city, then it will have those requirements come through on the app as well. All right, so my new company has been added. Now by default, it comes back to the contact screen. I can click the company that I want to change it to and then click save. One of the questions in the chat window is are these personal contacts or corporate contacts? What we are looking at is all the contacts in Cosential. So anything that you have uploaded to Cosential is what is being displayed. So in the filters on the bottom, by default, it's going to be just your contacts. So if you are an owner on those contacts, it will display. If you turn that off and say view contacts, you can see all of the contacts in Cosential. This might be a large number for some of you, depending on how many contacts you have in Cosential. They take their download times very seriously, so it's pretty quick in order to get that to sync. Now, if you change the filter and it didn't show everything and it's still showing just your opportunities, a trick that I have learned is in the upper right-hand corner. If you click those three dots, you can say resync contacts and companies. Then when you go back out to the screen, you'll interact with the download again, or a sync. It is not putting that information on your phone, so you're not losing phone memory or phone speed at all. It is just syncing those to your phone, not downloading them. So when we look here, we're going to go back to Courtney now that I have the right company, and let's see if it will enrich for us. No, cool. All right, let's see. Nope, it's still not going to do it. Okay, so it will pull in any social aspects, and in the social area, it will have their LinkedIn icon or a Twitter or a Facebook icon, and then you can click that and go directly to their profile, which is helpful if you have enhanced that. Looking at the contact. So the whole idea of Cosential on the go, they want to make it as easy and seamless to do business development on the road or on our phones. So looking at a meeting that you have with someone, if I were to place the phone call, I'm going to edit this and add my phone number really quick. I had me on another one, but since we're on this record, we'll do it really quick here too. So what you'll see is why didn't it delete them? That was interesting. I think it did try to enhance it because it just deleted a photo that we never saw. Okay, so as we go through, you can see the cell phone number that I just added. So if I click this to make the phone call from the Cosential app, as soon as I hung up, a call log popped up. So this is the auto launch that I had mentioned before. You can put in a subject line. I just talked to Courtney. It was a riveting conversation with myself about whatever pursuits you talked about, if there was a project update, whatever it is that you need to denote here. You can quickly go through and fill out the call log. It's going to know the call type is this phone call because I triggered it using that phone number. The disposition, I need to follow up, or in this case, I just simply had a conversation. Now at the very bottom, you'll see that there's a toggle for follow-up. Here, if you toggle that on, you need to scroll up in order to see the follow-up. This will set what date you want to create that next call log in a future date. The new feature that they've given us is the pop-ups at the very bottom. You can do it by 7 days from now, 30 days from now. If I drag it over 60, 90, 6 months from now, or 1 year from now, so that you don't have to click, click, click through the calendar and try to figure out 90 days from now. You can do it auto. So let's go ahead and do it 90 days from now. You'll see that my date changed. The time is going to be the exact same time that we're making the call originally. You can simply click that and change the time. So if I want it to be 2:25 instead, I can change that time quickly by clicking on it. Now again, I have an iOS. If you're on an Android, it could look a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to go back to my agenda because I want you to see what it looks like on April 12th. So if I go out to where's my month view? Cool. All right, so if we scroll through, it's supposed to let you be able to see it in a different view, but I can't get there. Are you really not going to show up? I just resynced you. There we go. Okay, so on April 12th, you can see that I have a talk to Courtney. It used the exact same subject line. So if you, when you originally created the call log, used a past tense, I talked to Courtney, you can just go in and change that and click the three icons in the upper right-hand corner, click edit, and then talk to Courtney or follow up with Courtney, whatever it is that you want to change it to so that you know what you should be doing on that day. Now you'll see here that when I originally created the follow-up, I didn't have any ability to add connections or associations to that record. Here they're giving you that ability once you create it. So if you need to add another caller, if I want Darren to also follow up with me, I can add him here as a caller or an attendee. If it happens to also, I want to discuss a different pursuit, I can tag that opportunity or different project. Now let's go into the companies. So because I resynced earlier, it was the contacts and companies. So I would just resync again. Here, it doesn't default to just your companies because we don't always associate individuals to companies. So this is all companies by default. So when you're looking here, you can filter. Again, the new features that they've given you the ability to save those features or save those filters. Let's go back. The new feature is in the upper three dots. If you click that, we now have a map so that we can see all of our companies. So the idea here is if you are already going to see a client and you want to see if there's any other client in the area, you can zoom into that part and see where those companies or client records are. So when you're looking at the map feature, you can get there by each of the individual modules. So if you're in companies, you can get to the map feature. If you're in contacts, you can get to the map feature. Or if you just want to go straight to the map feature from the bar, you can activate the menu on the left-hand side, click maps, and then you can explore using the bottom panel. You'll see that each icon has a different color to indicate what it is. So the companies or client records are in red, the contacts are in yellow. If you have your personnel addresses in there, then you can see where your personnel are located. If you click more, you can also see that opportunities are in green and projects are in blue. So when you are on the map feature, you can see all of them. As you can see on my screen, I've got an opportunity to, let's see if I scroll in. These are landmarks that are getting picked up by the map. So those are not Cosential icons. You can see that there's one with a dolphin to symbolize the aquarium. These are the bigger ones that you want to pay attention to. So the red, the dollar sign, if I scroll out, we could probably get a couple more for the contacts. My contacts came up earlier, come on. Cool. So the idea of this is if you were out and about, you just finished up a prospecting meeting and you're already downtown, you want to see who else you can go drop by and see, or a project that you might want to visit, then you can quickly get there. Or a site that you're prospecting or pursuing, you can drop by. Now, looking at your projects, if you click on the project and you click on the bar down at the bottom, you can get into that project record. I mentioned earlier that images is a new feature in here. So as you scroll up, you can see oh, that's not the one I loaded. So when you're on a project and you've loaded images, as you scroll down, you can see that you can click on images and you can walk through those images with a prospect if you want to show them a similar project that you've already completed and you have that photography uploaded to the project. All right. I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint. Hopefully we don't lose my phone. I want to make sure that we went through everything. Oh, the opportunities, filters. So when you go to a saved filter, if you click your filters at the bottom and then click Save Filter Set, oops. Save Filter Set is how you save your current settings if you want to save that for future use. If you have already saved it and you want to return, up at the top, you can click your filters and a drop-down menu will appear. You'll see on my screen, hopefully you still see my screen, but if you see my screen, it has 2021 wins, open ops, and pending ops. Those are all by status and based on stage. So as I click my saved, it's going to come back here. You can see that down at the bottom, it has a custom filter for my status. That is where I just said open. You can have this be open and created in the last 30 days. You can have it whatever you want to specify, and then you would just click view, and then it will filter your opportunities accordingly again. I know we are over time. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. I want to respect everyone's time, so I want to make sure that I got to all of the main highlights. What I will tell you is that Cosential has documentation on the support center. So if you wanted to see some of this, you can. I'm going to drop that into the chat window really quickly so that you can get to that link. We looked at project images, auto launching call logs, the enhanced feature options or additional feature options that they've given us, the ability to save and refer back to those saved filters. We looked at the map feature and the agenda in the new Cosential app. The last thing I want to show us, hopefully you are seeing my PowerPoint again. Let me know in chat if you're not. The last thing I want to share with you is the roadmap for mobile. I'm going to drop in the video if you would like to watch a more in-depth training and Akshay, the VP of product, to go over this roadmap. Feel free to click that link. I have put the timestamp of where he addresses this in that video if you want to jump to that section. So looking at Q4 of 2020, what they are bringing to us, it hasn't come to fruition quite yet, but what they are bringing to us is caller ID. So if you have the Cosential app on your phone and a number comes through that is not saved to your phone and not in your contacts, but is in Cosential, Cosential caller ID will come into play. The view on the left is the Apple view. So if you have an Apple phone, that is what you're going to see, or if you're on iOS. The right is Android. So if you have an Android, this is what Cosential caller ID is going to look like. The Android gives you a little bit more options. So you're able to see the open opportunities and projects associated with that contact that has that number come through. iOS does not have that capability, but you will see the name and the company come through on Apple. I'm super excited about this because it will save so much of us from having to keep up with both Outlook, my phone, and Cosential. Instead, we can all focus on just keeping Cosential up to date, and then Cosential will tell my phone who's calling me so that I don't have to try to keep up with all of that. The next feature for Q1 of 2021, again, the timestamp is in the upper left-hand corner if you want to go hear Akshay explain this in further detail. We're going to be able to merge duplicates on iOS. We can already create leads on the go, so that one is available to us. They're talking about what does it look like if we can have dashboards in mobile. That I have not seen anything more come out. They do have a sample on the screenshot to the left so that you can see some of what they're envisioning it looking like. I haven't seen anything further than just that one screenshot. Looking at Android, access to leads, the agenda, the map view, those are all coming this quarter, as well as creating leads. As always, if you want to stay up to date on this information and get updates, please go to the support center, click product updates, click see all, and then click that follow button so that you can get notifications every time updates come out. I am so sorry for all of the problems that we had with technology. This recording will be available, and I will also see if I can re-record some of these so that we don't have such trying technology issues. Hopefully you were able to take a look at the new mobile app and see all the features that Cosential has made available to us. As always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know we had one hand raised, but I didn't see anything come through on the chat or the Q&A. So if I didn't get to one of your questions, please email me and let me know. We will be having another webinar in 2 weeks on Tuesday, so feel free to sign up for that. And you guys have a good rest of your day.